Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to speak about the components of culture, which are traditions, customs, celebrations, routines. So we know that in different cultures there are different cultural norms, there are different traditions, customs, and among them some rituals also very important, and let's start with family rituals. Behaviors or activities involving most or all members of the family. We know that behaving or rituals are very important in Uzbek culture because in our culture we mostly pay attention to upbringing in an appropriate way of our children, and parents take a big responsibility for them, and family rituals consist of the following. They are behaviors. It can occur regularly, symbolic meaning, valued to the point that they want regularity. Family rituals, they are family celebrations, they are family traditions, they are family routine. Living in one culture, uh, subcultures can differentiate. What does it mean? It means that from one family to another family, some traditions, some celebrations, some family routines uh, can categorize in different ways. Family celebrations, rituals in which the family observes holidays or occasions that are widely practiced by the culture and are special in the family. These rituals are observed broadly by the cultural groups and provide an opportunity for larger group identification for the family. Family traditions, activities which are less culture specific and more unique to each family, not necessarily celebrated annually, more moderately organized than celebrations. Family routines, rituals which are most frequently enacted but least consciously planned by the participants, least deliberate and yet the most evident in the family. These rituals organize everyday life and define family roles and responsibilities. Why are rituals important? Importance of rituals is the following. Rituals make change manageable. They help with transitions like birth, retirement. Rituals facilitate the transmission of values and beliefs. Rituals contribute to family identity. It provides a sense of history and future perspective. Rituals provide support and containment for strong emotions. Mourning rituals are a great example. What might be the negatives? The process of rituals, structure, meaning, resistance, adaptability. Important rituals is eating family dinner a routine or tradition, date night. Couples who spend time together are happier. Happy couples, happy families. Traditions in new families. We know that especially in Uzbek culture, bride and grooms, they start new life, and for brides it can be somehow difficult to adapt or to be the real member of the new family, and in this case they have to adapt, they start to adapt traditions, new customs in new family. Groups. As you start a new marriage and family, what traditions will you have? How do you decide? Now, can you answer these questions? Think about these questions. Imagine that you are starting a new life with a new marriage and family. And in this case, what traditions will you have? And how do you decide? All traditions will not be the same in your new family. Make new traditions together. From these examples, we can say that while adapting to new traditions, to new customs, acculturation can happen, assimilation can happen, marginalization can happen. What do they mean? For example, they mean that while facing with a new culture, with a new customs, traditions, some people can assimilate, some people can marginalize, some people can acculturate. It means that in some cases, that person can adapt easily, rejecting his or her proper culture or proper customs or traditions, or in the second version, such kind of people who who are facing with a new culture, tradition, and customs or rituals, they may adapt, preserving their own culture. What does it mean? In this case, the person must be very selective. He or she can choose the appropriate or the most suitable elements of the new culture and joining it with his or her own culture, they can just start adapting. Or there are also some people that they never accept, they never want to adapt a new culture or a new traditions, customs. They are loyal toward their own culture and they never accept the new one. In this case, we can say that, of course, as tastes are different, in this situation also many people can choose any type of how to adapt or how to accept a new culture or traditions and new customs. And of course, it depends on the people choice, it depends on people taste, and in this case, it's free choice. And final thoughts. So, traditions in new families. As we have stated above, what do you think? How can you start adapting or accepting a new culture, its elements, components, or traditions, customs, everything which are included in the culture, and as a newcomer or as a new member of family, imagine that if you are in a new family, imagine that if you are in a new country, imagine that if you are in a new culture, how can you adapt or how can you accept that new culture, its norms, its rules, and way of living? Of course, firstly, you will observe, you will watch how that culture's members do how, and how they communicate, how they behave, how they express their feeling, and how they apply. As a newcomer, as a new member, you have to observe these aspects. You have to observe these sides of the culture. And in general, we can say that in different cultures, there are different customs, there are different traditions. As we take, for example, let's take some examples from different cultures. For example, in European culture, in the US or in the UK culture, it is a usual habit to bring a bottle of wine or a beer while visiting a new family as a guest. But if we compare it with our culture, uh, it's not, it can be observed, but it is not usual habit. It's not tradition. It's not custom according to our culture, because we are Muslims. We are the members of Islam religion, and religious factors, cultural factors don't let do this step, of course. And what about eating habits? There are also some differences. For example, in most Japanese culture, smacking lips, it is usual way of expressing that the dish is very tasty, that the dish is very delicious, but it is not acceptable and it is banned, smacking lips while eating in our culture according to our table manners. And even from our childhood, our parents always said that not to make any noise while eating, and not to chat, not to speak loudly when you are around the dastarkhan or around the table. This is also one difference. And what about greeting? If we compare the customs or traditions according to the different cultures around the world, we can see some differences. Even we can say that big differences. For example, while greeting in our culture, if we are greeting with an old people or with some official people, we put our right hand on our chest, or we show our respect toward our partner. But shaking hands, it's not used in Japanese culture. They just bow, and the length of the bowing, it shows the deepest respect towards the partner. And this is also one example for differentiating different cultures and customs around the world in different cultures. And this were all about traditions, customs, and rituals about our today's topic. And thank you for your attention. Goodbye.